really good to see you. I was just telling our friends how this is going to be just an incredible talk because you are an example of someone who has discovered sleep as a tool and just really are modeling that example of someone who is seemingly doing it all, but then the foundation for that you've discovered is sleep. So I'm really excited about this conversation we're going to be having, which I aptly titled Sleep More, Do More.
Yes,
But
yes,
just to get started, maybe you want to introduce yourself and say hi to our friends, and then we'll hit the ground
yeah,
running. Hmm.
yes. Hi, everyone. I am Dr. Prabakar. I'm an OBGYN out in the Bay Area in California, and I wear a lot of hats. I'm a wife, I'm a mom to three young kids. I am a full-time physician. I am the founder and the CEO of my business, of my practice that I just opened 6 months ago. I work out 5 times a week and I sleep 7 to 8 hours a night.
I love it. And I love how you define, like, you're like, I'm a doctor. I'm like a hardcore superhero saving lives, and I sleep. Like, you
You
put
know,
that in,
I
I just can't. Like, you put that in the same sentence. Do you know how that makes me feel? Just like blown away.
I have to say that out loud
Mm,
because
mm,
believe it or not, a lot of people tell me, "Oh, wow, like I guess you don't sleep a lot. Like you're doing a lot of things." And I was like, "Actually, I've slept the most that I have in my entire life." And in college, oh, I just cringe when I think about all the time I wasted in college and what I was doing instead of getting sleep. I'd be chatting with my friends on AOL Instant Messenger. Okay, I'm really dating myself now. And, I would sleep at 2 a.m. and then I would wake up really late. I would miss my classes and on all this stuff. And then there was med school and residency. And, by the nature of what medical training is, we didn't get to really sleep a lot. But I have to also say, I don't think I prioritized sleep. I was,
mm.
and I was younger, so I could kind of get away with not sleeping much, and it was like, okay, 5.5, 6 hours. And Dr. Funke, I think really after coming into your world, I will say, I think I really like valued and realized that this has to be a priority. And when I did that, like I said, the last 6 months, I've been sleeping 7 to 8 hours. I'm actually able to do more, unlike what one would think. Like, oh, if you sleep 7, 8 hours, man, you're wasting time. Like, come on,
Mm.
but it's actually the opposite. And it's something that, wow, I really wish I had done this earlier.
Well, better late than never, right? They say like the best time to start is now, right? So I just, there's just so much to break down there where you said, now that I'm able to sleep. First of all, people just look at you and they're like, oh gosh, there's no way she's sleeping. She's doing all the things. And that's just really, I mean, it's stereotyping, but we're the ones that created that narrative for ourselves, right? Where we feel like as women, as moms, as entrepreneurs, as physicians, like, of course not. Of course I don't sleep. And we wear it like a badge of honor. And so others, of course, perceive that in us. They're like, well, there's no way you could be doing all of this and be sleeping. But it's just incredible to see how you've changed that to say, listen, I actually started doing more. And we're going to delve into all the doing you're doing, right? Because I think it's just so fascinating and it's so inspiring. But the fact that you found that, and that's one of the things I say, like your dream has to be so big that you're like, heck, I need to make sure I sleep well so that I can achieve it.
Yes,
And I just
yes.
and I just think it's incredible how you've been able to do that.
Yes, and I was even thinking about how I'm going to a conference this week, and typically I would be like, "Oh, let me just hit that red eye and like let me just get there." And I said to
Mm,
myself, "No, I'm not doing that this time. I'm going to get up, sleep a full night, get up, a normal time, eat breakfast, and then let me see what flights are available after that. And I'm not saying this is possible all the time, but
Mm.
I'm just giving you a very quick example of like even a mindset, shift
Yeah.
of instead of just running, running, running. No, let me just prioritize that night because I know when I go to this conference, I'm gonna probably not be sleeping my 8 hours. So let me just, bank up on that sleep that's gonna be important for me.
Yeah, yeah. So you're essentially building a buffer even ahead of a conference because you know, like, okay, I'm going to be in a different environment. That's something that I talk about too. Like if you have something coming up, if you're an athlete, for instance, and you have a game or you have a talk or you're traveling, like you're going to be in a different sleep environment. Like it's important to sort of make sure that your sleep prior to that event is as robust as possible. So thanks for putting that out there and thanks for highlighting that. But I don't want anybody to miss out on just the incredible stuff you do. Just first of all, tell us a bit about yourself. Like, how did you come into this space where you're getting busier? You
Oh
know?
man, yeah. So, gosh, I never really imagined my life was going to be like this.
Mm,
And it all is turning out great
mm,
and better than
mm,
I ever anticipated. But I always thought I was going to have two kids, and then I had three kids. Um, I always knew I was going to be a full-time or a physician, but I did make the switch between being an employed physician to being my own boss, and that's helped a lot. I want to make that distinction because when I'm in control of my own schedule,
mm,
I can say, okay, I'm going to start my day at 9 a.m. instead of 7:30,
yeah.
or I'm going to end at 4 instead of 5:30, right? So whoever's listening, whatever you can do to get a little bit of control over your schedule, and that may look different for all of us depending on where we are,
Mm,
but just getting a little bit more control so you can prioritize the things that you need. And I always knew I wanted to open my own practice, and so here I am, 6 months in, almost 7 months into my own practice. And yeah, there's a lot that I have to get done. I mean, I more than ever, I run a business, I'm a doctor, I have to be a mom, like all of those things. But I do prioritize that sleep. And what helps me do that is, also delegating a lot of stuff
mm,
that, you asked like how is it that you've come into the space? It's by delegating a lot. So, childcare, pickups and drop-offs, laundry, cleaning the house. A lot of things that I don't really want to do or that I don't enjoy doing, I try to delegate so that I'm
mm,
able to do the things that I need to do and then take care of myself. And I've realized more than anything now, like without me, there's no business. Without me, there's no practice, right? Without me, my kids are not going to be happy. So I need to really put that time in for me.
mm,
And I'm showing my kids an example too, like,
mm,
setting that example of how
mm.
taking care of yourself and sleeping, eating well, all of those things, self-care,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. No, no, you're right on so many levels. And I think it sounds like a bulk of what you're really focusing on. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Is really then you're kind of looking inward and saying, what is it that I am needed for? And it turns out, as much as we women and moms feel like we have been sent to all people to fix all the world problems, there's there's a limit to the things we can actually do, and there's a limit to the things that we are meant to be doing. And so, like you said, like being that parent, right, that is present, not just a parent, but a parent that's present, being able to build your business with all the creative ideas you have, really being able to implement it needs you in that sense, for now, right? And then the other things are delegatable. And like you said, like, of course, not everybody is self-employed, not everybody is an entrepreneur. You might still be, in an employed job where you do need to work, show up at work early, or maybe you're even a shift worker where then, you're that's even harder because now your sleep is flipped and you're awake all night and trying to sleep during the day. And then, oh, you have kids and you have all these other responsibilities. So definitely those challenges are there. But it sounds like the work you did first, which I would advocate for everyone do, is to step back and have that shift in that mindset to say, what do I need to, how can I, in this situation, of course, I would love to have 9 hours to sleep right now, but maybe I don't have that right now. I don't have a flexibility of a schedule that would afford that. But what do I have? What am I doing to optimize my sleep, to set boundaries in place right now? And then you move from there. And from there may look like advocating for some flexibility. It never, many times we don't ask and we don't get because we don't ask. Advocating for, a slightly later time to start, advocating for just whatever it is that you can. Is a great place to start, and I love that you did that and it's worked out so well.
Yes, yes. And I think the more that's on my plate, the more I
Mm,
realize, well, the more I need to sleep,
mm,
actually. Like if I don't get that sleep, I'm not going to do all those things that are on my calendar for
mm,
tomorrow.
mm-hmm,
Something's going to have to fall off, or I'm just not going to be present with in that situation doing the thing that I need to do. And
mm,
so that was also an interesting mind shift for me. And I had to become very intentional. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock would roll around. I'd still be walking around, scrolling through my phone sometimes. I don't even know what I'd be doing, going down rabbit holes online. But
you're looking for the bottom of
yeah,
Instagram, that bottom, the bottom of the scroll.
right. And
Yeah.
by the time I look at the clock, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's 10:45. Like, what have I done? Right. But those things didn't strike me as like, oh, this is impacting the next day of why I'm cranky and why I'm short with my kids, right? So
Mm,
now I have to be a lot more intentional. I'm like, okay, my kids go to bed by 8:30. Okay, I'm starting my routine by 9. By 9:30, I want to be in bed. And I really have to intentionally say that to myself, look at the clock. And okay, oh, okay, this thing didn't get done. All right, if it's not super urgent, it doesn't get done. And instead, I'm going to get a good night's sleep and get
mm,
up tomorrow early.
yeah.
So and tackle all those things.
Mm,
And so I've had to just, I literally, it's like I have to coach myself every night too.
mm,
I mean, it doesn't just happen by magic, right?
yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
have to be very intentional
Yeah.
in doing that, but it's definitely paid off.
Yeah, no, no, and I love that. I love that fact that, what you just said about coaching yourself, because we're not saying it's easy. Think about it. You've had a busy day. You've had everybody place a demand, like literally everybody that's possible that has access to you has made a demand on you. So emotionally, you're exhausted. Physically, you're exhausted. And self-control is down by evening, right? You may feel motivated in the morning, but by evening, the likelihood that you can stick to anything is really, really diminished over the course of the day, right? And so then the indulgences, right? There's a need for, we start to engage in bedtime procrastination because you're like, listen, this is me time.
Yeah.
Me time looks like time watching a Netflix movie with my glass of wine and my little, scoop of ice cream, which then becomes the entire season on Netflix, the entire bottle of wine, the whole pint of ice cream, right? Because we deserve some me time. So in our minds, that's our own way of just really serving ourselves. Except that when we do that, it's replacing sleep, which actually is what truly fills our cup. So it's a shift, because then it's not saying put it down, put the phone down, ditch, the entire bottle of wine at least, and get into bed. It's not saying, we're not trying to say quit having fun or quit taking care of yourself. It's all about strategizing. It's all about prioritizing the things that matter. And also, when you're able to get to that place, it makes you an incredible time manager. You literally manage your time better because you're like, okay, I have this much time and bedtime starts at whatever time it is. So what do I need to do to make sure that I don't miss bedtime? The same way I'm not going to miss my doctor's appointment, my kid's doctor's appointment, even if I miss my own doctor's appointment,
Hmm. Yeah,
right?
right.
So, and I feel like it then makes you more efficient, because then when you wake up in the morning, you're like, okay, I'm going to hit the ground running, right? So
Yeah.
it helps you then start to align your priorities, right? And I just really love that, especially with your story.
Yeah, I mean, when I was an employed physician just last
Yeah.
year, I worked 4 days a week and I had, 1 day off. Now I work 5 days a week because I'm running my own business and I just started. So, but still, even then, I'm able to get more
Mm,
done. I mean, I just sometimes look at my goals for the month and look at what I've done. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of stuff that I've
mm,
gotten accomplished. And I think when I look back to see what really changed, one of the biggest things is, yeah, instead of kind of skating by with 6 hours of sleep, maybe 6.5 on a good day, now it's more like eight, more
mm,
7.5 to 8.
mm,
So that's what I go for. And I feel like I really, as I get older, I really need that sleep too. I'm like, wow, I could maybe get away with 6 before, but now I really
mm,
feel like I need 8. And listening to my body
mm.
and saying, okay, then I'm going to do 8.
Yeah.
And then I get through the day, much more efficiently. I don't need coffee. By the way,
Mm.
I rarely ever drink coffee.
Stop.
People look at me all the time. They're like, oh, so you're a doctor. How many cups of coffee do you drink? The truth is, I rarely ever drink coffee.
Mm,
I don't like need it. But before sometimes I would be kind of tempted to maybe some the afternoon slump would come, and I'm like, oh, like I need something to eat or drink. But
mm,
now I don't even have that because I'm really rested, which
mm.
is amazing.
That's beautiful. And this is incredible. First, I do want you to just tell us a few of the things you're up to, what life looks like for you, what a typical day looks like, and also even about your practice, because we are speaking to a lot of moms out there who probably would need your services. Either they connect with you on Instagram or even in your practice itself. So I would love to see what prioritizing sleep has helped you achieve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, my life looks so different now since I started my practice. So as I said, I'm a gynecologist. I
Mm,
help women achieve, great gynecologic health through all phases of life. So my youngest patient is 10, and my oldest, I think, is 87.
wow.
And my niche is fibroids, abnormal bleeding. So I help women with fibroids live a life of reduced bleeding and pain and improved fertility as well. And then my second niche is menopause. So I take care of a lot of women through the menopausal transition, help them with hormone therapy and, weight loss and kind of all the things that come along with menopause. So a lot of patients ask, do I deliver babies? I actually don't deliver babies through my practice. I really focus on gynecology. And to do this, I did a couple of extra years of training in New York in minimally invasive surgery. So that is my passion, to help women, uh, have surgery with just a tiny few incisions instead of like a large cut. So that's kind of what I do on a day-to-day basis. And so a lot of my time is mixed. Sometimes it's in the office, sometimes it's in the operating room. So let me walk you through like a typical day. I wake up around 6 o'clock. 5:30 sometimes, but usually 6. And then I have my morning rituals like for myself. So for me, that looks like, prayer, meditation, journaling a little bit, writing out my goals for the year. I wrote them out in January, and I literally, instead of just looking at them, I write out my goals every single day. Um, and then that usually all of that takes me, pretty much 50 minutes to an hour. And then by this time, my au pair has, woken up my kids, and they're downstairs eating breakfast. And then I go join them. I get dressed and I go join them, and I'm eating with them, or I'm reading them a book before school. And then they go off to school, and then I drive to work. I'm at work usually around 8:30, 9. I'm seeing patients, and then I leave around 4, and I go straight to the gym, and I work out, and then I'll pick up my daughter from swim team right there, and then we go home together, or sometimes they're doing something else, I just go home. Today, instead of going to the gym at 4 o'clock, I'm leaving and I'm going to get a manicure and a pedicure. Um, so I do throw in a little self-care here and there, and it's beautiful. Other days, there are rare days when I don't get to fully like sit with my kids and read a book and stuff. I just see them quickly, and then I got to go to the operating room. So I'm in the OR doing 1 case, 2 case, sometimes 3 cases. I'm there all day. And then I just catch up on some work and then just go home after that. So yeah, so I do try to exercise, something every day. If I don't get to it, been a crazy day, which sometimes there is, I take a walk around the block after dinner. It's just something to move my body. And then those rituals in the morning, before I even open my phone. I don't read email till, an hour or two into my day, because I've realized that once I open my phone, it's all over. So I just
Mm-hmm.
don't, and I just quickly see if there's any emergent texts that have come through, and otherwise I just put it down and I go through my day. Um, and then at night, after dinner and after the kids go to bed around 8:30, I like to read a couple of chapters of a fun book that I'm reading. And so that's kind of my wind down. I take a shower and then I read. Sometimes my husband's already gone to bed by 9:30, so sometimes I read downstairs and then come up to sleep. But whatever it is, it just gets my mind off to some different worlds. I'm not focusing on work or anything. And then I get to bed and I try to be in bed by 9:30. So
Awesome. I love it. So sounds like a few things have really helped. It's the morning rituals, setting boundaries around that. It's the exercise and the way. So one of the things that I want us to realize is restful sleep doesn't start at bedtime. Restful sleep
mm,
starts from what you start doing the moment you wake up. You can set yourself up for sleep success by the routines and the habits you get into. And so that's something I want people to know. So when you're laying in bed, if you're not exercising, if you're not eating right, it's going to eventually impact your sleep. So you're doing those things that definitely will promote healthy sleep. You're working on the mindset. You're looking at your goals, which will help you to know what exactly you're looking forward in the day. So that will get you out of bed. That's definitely going to get you motivated. Exercise is so critical because it increases your sleep drive and it actually helps you sleep better. I mean, as long as you're not exercising too close to bedtime. So that is such an important piece of it. And I love the fact that you have a bedtime routine. Our body, we're creatures of habit and our bodies crave routines. And so finding that, again, two or three activities that help you get your mind ready, get your body ready for bed, that kind of signals to your brain it's time to wind down, is so purely important. So thank you so much for sharing this with us, because one thing I want people to know, y'all to know, is this is achievable by anybody. None of this requires any any cost. It's all just really just getting into that mode of making this a lifestyle, and it will help your sleep. And I really, really love that. One thing I
yes.
wanted to, yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Wait,
I was
you were
just
gonna
saying, and it rubs off on the rest of the
yeah.
family. Once
Mm,
I started doing this, my husband, who's an entrepreneur himself, was like, "Oh yeah, let me go to bed at 9." I mean, he's in bed by 9 o'clock, and then that changes the things we do socially, right? When
yeah.
people say, "Oh, we want to come over," we're like, "Yeah, can you come over by 6?" So, we
Mm,
don't say, "Hey, we go to bed at 9," but we're kind of saying like, "Yeah, we're not going
yeah.
to stay at midnight," because then it just throws us off completely.
Mm,
And the kids realize too, like, so it's just not you. You're kind of impacting and influencing the rest of your family. So
mhm.
everybody can be on the same page and also get restful sleep.
Absolutely. I love this. So you've essentially created a ripple effect and changed the culture. And your husband is sleeping early, which is good. So this has been really incredible. It's been just such a delight to hear your story and hear how you have used sleep to be able to do more. You are sleeping more and you're doing more. It sounds paradoxical, but I can assure you, skimping on sleep is going to make us just work harder and hustle and grind. But if you just move things around a little bit, it doesn't mean you're lazy. It's because your dreams and your goals are so big that it takes a well rested version of you to
Yes.
achieve it.
That's a great way to put it. I mean,
Yeah,
100%. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And I wanted to end this. I want you to tell us how we can work with you. But before that, I wanted to read this. I posted it on Instagram, and I think I'm going to say it again and again, that here on Restful Sleep MD, one of my missions, right, is to help busy women, busy professionals, people that feel like they're too busy to prioritize sleep. I help them prioritize sleep so they can live and thrive and live to their fullest potential. And I wrote that, dear mom, busy mom, when I ask you to prioritize sleep, there are a few things I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to not neglect self care. I'm asking you to say no if it's too much. I'm asking you to let go of what doesn't work. I'm asking you to ditch unrealistic expectations. I'm asking you to do more of what you want. I'm asking you to not be afraid to set boundaries. And I'm asking you to stay true to yourself. And so it sounds vague, like what does it mean, prioritize sleep? But you are a true example of what it means. It means I got a lot to do. I got to stay on this earth for so long, right? I don't want my life to be cut short. I want to make sure that I achieve those God-given goals. And I realize that I have to sleep because He gave you that dream and He gave you the gift of sleep
Yeah.
as well. So I just think this is beautiful. And thank you for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that list. And as you were reading that, I was like, yeah, yeah, this is not something that just starts at 9 p.m. You know, like, oh,
Mm-mm.
okay, I guess I gotta, have a
Sleep.
healthy routine now. Okay, let's go. This is, one of the things that as busy professional moms too, really guarding your mind by
Mm,
all the negative influences that come into your mind, right?
mm.
And sometimes that's even by well-meaning family members, like too much
Yeah.
drama here, drama there. Okay, let me not, because then women are up at night thinking about all these things and the
Mm-hmm.
family issues and all of that, right? So all the things that you said, setting healthy boundaries and like saying no to things, like this is a whole package deal, right?
Yeah.
And that is so important. This is sleep is just not an isolated thing, but
No.
it's kind of the whole thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, so you can find me at the Fibroid Doc on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And if you're in California and you're looking for a great gynecologist, definitely check me out. My website is lamorindagyn.com. And if you're a woman with fibroids and you're looking for excellent care, you can check me out at thefibroiddoc.com. And if you are anywhere in the world and would just like fibroid coaching, which is a hour-long, excuse me, hour-long session with me where I talk to you about fibroids, different treatment options, what the latest and greatest is out there, fertility, all of those things, questions that you have, be happy to do that as well. And you can contact me at thefibroiddoc.com.
Oh, thank you. So many incredible ways to work with you. And definitely you're an example of what is possible when we prioritize sleep. So thank you. I'm going to put those links in the notes so you guys can definitely get in touch with Dr. Prabakar. And I am here for you. I'm here for it all. You've seen what I mean when I say prioritize sleep. And sometimes you may not know where to start. It may be that you literally legit have just 4 hours worth of sleep and you're exhausted and drained and you're not even sure where from what direction to go. If you're ready to start to take this to the next level where you're using sleep to do more, to accomplish more, then get in touch with me. Go to restfulsleepmd.com or send me a DM. I'm always here available to help and to provide support. So really good seeing you. Thank you so
Yeah,
much again
thank
for
you. Thank you
coming.
for your important work, and we'll catch up soon. Uh,
Absolutely.
okay,
Bye, everyone.
bye.
Take care. Bye.